AHJAHLEE, and this is Melody of Music Quickfire Questions. We have all the questions right here in this cup, and we're going to answer them one by one. First we have, what is your favorite song you've ever written? For me, right now, my favorite song that I've ever written is With Just Your Eyes. That song really stands out to me because it's very personal and very intimate, and I feel like it taps into a piece of myself that I hadn't explored before, and maybe I hid it from myself, maybe I hid it from the world, but it feels very intimate, it feels very true, and I think the best songs come from being unfiltered, and that's what that song is for me. Next question is, who would you most like to collaborate with? First one that comes to mind is Lana Del Rey, because she is an incredible poet, an incredible songwriter, an incredible singer, and I really admire the way that she can build a world around her music. When you hear Lana, you think of a world. You think of its own universe, and I really admire that. Next question is, favorite venue you've ever played at? I don't have a particular venue that I've played at yet that is my favorite, but one I would really like to play at is the House of Blues in New Orleans. The House of Blues is iconic, and New Orleans is so full of love for music and history. Why did you get into music? That's a good question. I got into music because I realized music and writing are the only ways that I know how to fully process anything I feel, anything I think, this experience as a human on earth at all. So how I got into music was just realizing that I have to process things deeply, and music and writing are the clearest, truest ways to do that. Describe your sound in 3 words. I would say cinematic, nocturnal, and intimate. I try to make sure that all of my songs have layers and they feel like they can stand alone and they can stand with each other, and I think that creates a really cinematic vibe. I also think they're nocturnal because I write all of my songs at night. That's just when I feel most connected to myself, so they often end up infusing with the energy of nighttime. Lastly, they're intimate because all of my songs feel like pieces of my diary. I would never hold any emotion or any thought back from the music that I make, so that's what makes them so intimate, I think. Melody or lyrics first? Both, but with both, first comes feeling. So I'll feel something and I know, maybe this is an exact line I want in the song. But it does often start with me being like, this is the feeling, now let's make it something melodic and something that fits into a song. So it starts with melody. So yes, both, but feeling first. Next we have, if you could cover any other song featuring on Melody and Music, which would you choose? I would choose Last Letter by Gigi Moss because that song, I relate to it a lot, and I find that all of my favorite songs in the entire world end up making a goodbye poetic and also final. And that song does a really, really good job at having finality to what needs to end. Who inspired you to make music? I have this really specific memory from when I was a kid, listening to Someone Like You by Adele for the first time, and being I don't know, 4 years old, 5 years old, sitting there and being like, wait, this is what music is. There's emotion, there's lyrics, there's melody, there's instruments. I remember sitting there being like, oh yeah, this is the truest form of existence that there is, and I have to be a part of that. I have to experience myself in that same way. So, definitely Someone Like You by Adele. We're almost to the last question, and I dropped it. Favorite artist? That is really easy for me. Frank Ocean is my all-time favorite artist. Again, because he builds such a rich world around and through his music, through production, through lyrics, through vocals. His world is so strong and I feel so at home in it. I love Frank Ocean. He's definitely my favorite artist. Drop the last question. The last question is best concert you've ever seen. I recently saw Billie Eilish in New Orleans in November, and that was hands down the best experience I've ever had because she's just so real with her audience. She feels like a friend. She feels like someone who gets you when no one else does, and that's also what I want to be for my listeners. I think it's really important to have that connection as a songwriter and as an artist. So that was definitely the best show I've ever been to. Again, this has been Quickfire Questions with Melody of Music. I'm AHJAHLEE, and thank you so much.